The day she declared war last Tuesday, my wife, Evelyn, looked me in the eye and told me she wanted a divorce. No tears, no hesitation. Just cold, calculated finality. We were sitting in the living room of the house we'd spent 8 years turning into a home. The rain outside tapped against the window like a slow drum beat, but her voice was sharp and steady, each word cutting deeper than the last. Before we proceed, hit like, subscribe, and keep watching. Trust me, you don't want to miss this story. "It's over, Tom," she said, sliding a manila folder across the coffee table toward me. Her manicured fingers lingered on it for a moment before pulling back, as if she were delivering some grand prize she'd earned. "I've already spoken to a lawyer," she continued, her tone dripping with condescending pity. "These are my terms." I didn't open the folder. I didn't need to. Evelyn was more than happy to list her demands. She wanted the house, my house, bought with the help of my grandfather's down payment. She wanted 70% of our savings. She wanted spousal support for at least 5 years. She wasn't asking. She was taking. When she finished, she leaned back in her chair, crossing her legs with a slow, deliberate grace. "And I don't want to fight on this, Tom," she said, her voice soft, almost motherly, as if speaking to a slow child. "Let's be realistic. You're a high school woodshop teacher. You make a decent living, but you can't afford a real lawyer. My guy will bury you in legal fees before you even set foot in court. It's better to just walk away." I stared at her. Not at the woman I'd married. Not at the person I'd once trusted with every corner of my heart. This was someone else entirely. An executioner in silk and perfume. She didn't just want to leave me. She wanted to ruin me. I let the silence stretch. She thought she'd broken me. Finally, I said the 2 words she expected. "You're right." The relief that spread across her face was immediate. She smiled, triumphant. "I'm glad you're being sensible," she said as she rose to leave. "You'll be served next week." And just like that, she walked out, high heels clicking against the hardwood floor, each step echoing like the closing of a prison cell. The one card she didn't know, I still had. Evelyn knew I didn't have money for a fight. She also knew I had a brother, Marcus, a name that once made other lawyers sweat. The most feared divorce attorney in the state. Ruthless, brilliant, and utterly out of my life. 5 years ago, after our parents died, we'd fought over the family home. I wanted to keep it. He wanted to sell it. Harsh words were exchanged. We stopped talking. Evelyn had seen the fallout. She knew Marcus and I hadn't spoken since. In her mind, my greatest potential weapon was already buried. She was wrong. 3 days after she left, I hit the lowest point of my life. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying the smug tilt of her head when she told me I couldn't afford to fight her. On the 4th day, something inside me snapped. Pride had cost me my brother for half a decade. Pride was about to cost me my home, my savings, and the last shreds of dignity I had left. With shaking hands, I found his private cell number and dialed. 2 rings. Then his voice. "Hello?" "Marcus," I said, my voice hoarse. "It's Tom." A long silence. I thought he'd hang up, then Tommy. The old nickname sounded foreign on his lips. What's wrong? And so I told him. Everything. Evelyn's demands, her smugness, her exact words. "You can't afford a lawyer to fight me." He was silent again. Then I heard it. the dangerous edge in his voice I remembered from years ago, when someone messed with him or someone he loved. She said, "What?" I repeated it. "Okay," he said. "When's your first court date?" "Next Tuesday, downtown courthouse." "I'll be there. Don't talk to her. Don't sign anything. Don't call her lawyer. Just show up on Tuesday." When we hung up, I sat there, my pulse thundering. Evelyn thought she had stripped me of every weapon. She had no idea I'd just picked up a nuclear warhead. The day the tide turned. The courthouse smelled faintly of old wood and rain. I wore my only suit, the one I kept for weddings and funerals. This felt like both. Evelyn was already there, seated at the plaintiff's table. She looked stunning. Every hair perfectly in place, a dark blue power suit hugging her like armor. Her expression was the same as when she left me, smug, unshakable. Her lawyer sat beside her, a man in his 50s with the self-satisfaction of someone who thought he'd already won. I took my place at the defendant's table. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep watching, because the best part's coming up next. Her lawyer strolled over, wearing that same smirk. "Mr. Miller," he said, oozing false courtesy, "I trust you've reviewed my client's generous proposal. If you're ready to sign, we can make this quick and painless." "I'm waiting for my counsel," I said. He chuckled. "Your counsel? Good luck with that." He walked back, still smiling. The bailiff called the court to order. "Miller versus Miller," the judge intoned. Evelyn's lawyer stood. Alan Davis, representing the plaintiff, Mrs. Evelyn Miller. The heavy double doors swung open. Marcus Sterling walked in. Not just in a suit, the suit, midnight black, perfect fit, the kind of fabric that whispers money and power. His polished shoes barely made a sound, but the room reacted as if thunder had rolled in. Lawyers turned. Whispers spread. Even the judge raised her brows. He moved like a predator, calm, dangerous, unstoppable. When he reached my table, he put a hand on my shoulder and gave it a firm squeeze. "Sorry I'm late, little brother. Traffic was hell." He turned to the judge. "Marcus Sterling, Your Honor. Representing the defendant, Mr. Thomas Miller." Evelyn's face was a mask of shock. Her lawyer had gone pale. Marcus met their eyes, smiled coldly, and said, "He doesn't have to afford me. I'm his older brother." The air shifted. The game was no longer hers to win. The legal war. Marcus rejected her demands immediately, called them predatory, filed a counter-petition before the hearing was even over, demanded a full forensic audit of our marital finances and that Evelyn pay my legal fees. Her lawyer stammered objections. Marcus didn't even look at him. The next 2 months were brutal. Marcus unleashed a legal storm so relentless it felt almost unfair. Almost. Motion for discovery? Approved. Subpoenas, flying out daily. Depositions? Everyone in Evelyn's orbit got one. Her friends, her family, her co-workers. Marcus wanted every scrap of paper, every text message, every receipt. Then came the break. During the deposition of her best friend, Chloe, Marcus dropped a stack of credit card statements from a hidden account Evelyn had been using. Charges for hotels, jewelry, dinners, all on dates when she claimed to be at work conferences. When Marcus asked, "Who is David Kincaid?" Chloe cracked. She spilled everything. The affair, the 18 months of lies, the plan to drain me dry and start fresh with him. David's deposition sealed it. He admitted the affair, admitted helping her craft the divorce demands, admitted telling her I was too weak to fight. The fraud, the perjury, the betrayal, it was all there. Marcus looked at me after David's deposition and simply said, "She's finished." The final blow. 6 months later, the trial was a formality. Evelyn's case was a carcass, stripped bare by Marcus's work. In the end, she took the stand only to surrender completely. Marcus's terms were merciless. She lost the house, lost any claim to spousal support. The $60,000 she had funneled into her affair returned to me. She walked out of that courthouse with nothing but bills, legal bills she could barely afford, and a reputation in tatters. Her lover dumped her before the month was out. Her so-called friends faded away. She had come to destroy me. Instead, she destroyed herself. The brother I got back. A few weeks later, Marcus called. "Meet me at the old house," he said. We sat on the porch, the same spot we'd once argued over so bitterly. We talked for hours. Not about the case, but about childhood summers, Mom's cooking, Dad's laugh. The kind of talk we hadn't had in years. Marcus admitted he'd been wrong to push for selling. I admitted I'd been too stubborn. We decided to keep it and fix it up together. Now, every Saturday, we're side by side again. Sawdust in the air, tools clattering, coffee cooling on the porch rail. The house feels alive again. So do we. Evelyn thought she could leave me with nothing. But as I look at the home my grandfather helped me buy, with my brother, beside me, I realize the truth. She took her shot. She missed. I have everything. You know, this story isn't just about winning a divorce case. It's about reclaiming your power when someone tries to strip you of it. It's a reminder that people will underestimate you based on what they think they know. But they rarely see the cards you've kept close to your chest. And sometimes, those hidden cards aren't just weapons. They're relationships worth repairing. For me, the best part wasn't Evelyn losing. It was Tom getting his brother back. That's the real victory. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think.